We're good. I'm good. How are you? How have you been since the lockdown?
I know it's been crazy, but we need to do what we can, right?
That's true. Evolve pa rin kahit na the world has stopped moving. Parang evolve pa rin tayo.
That's a great word, Salve. And I think that's going to be the theme of our talk this morning, I'd like to welcome everyone who's watching today. I am so excited to share with you our very special guest. You know, I met Salve a few weeks ago, was it? Through common
Yeah.
friends. And that very short Zoom meeting gave me such inspiration in very practical ways. We always talk about growth mindset, we talk about, looking at our careers and what we can do better. But Salve is here to talk to us about money matters and how she got into that very lucrative and exciting career. Right, Salve?
More inspiring than lucrative, maybe.
Would you mind, Salve, introducing yourself, telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, no problem. My name is Salve Duplito. So currently, I am still the host and managing editor of a show on ANC on financial literacy called On the Money. Our show has been going on for this is our ninth year already. Our ninth year was supposed to be bonga, but because of the pandemic, we sort of hunkered down a bit because of all the financial troubles that ABS-CBN is going through. But however, despite that, our advocacy is continuing.
Right.
So I've been busier this year actually because a lot of companies are having difficulty. The employees need more guidance
Yeah.
on money matters. So I've been busier.
Wonderful, Salve. Would you be able to, I guess, bring us back to a little bit of the beginning, Salve? How did you get to this part of your life?
Well, I started as a financial reporter. Back in the day, I was with Business World, covering the banking and finance beat. So every day was really all about the financial markets, daily stories, the daily grind, and my face was sort of connected to the Bloomberg screen, the AP terminal. Every day, I kept looking at the peso dollar exchange rate and all of that. And one of those days, I just started thinking, what does this all mean? Like that business world mostly these are the C-suite,
Yes,
the CEOs, and
yes.
they're the ones who read that. But I felt at the time that that kind of information is even more critical for those in the vulnerable parts of society. But do they read the business world? That was a challenge for me. So what I did was sort of sit by myself for a bit,
Mhm.
and then I realized that I had to make some changes. So that was unheard of before. I was just a junior banking reporter, but I wrote a memo to the publisher and I said, "Can I have one page of the newspaper every week? And I will fill it up with stories that will connect the big business news to the ordinary Filipino." And I guess they thought my idea was great because it really happened.
Yeah.
So for the next couple of years, that's what I did. And I didn't have the budget. They didn't have the budget for it. But in your career, you don't let that stop you, diba?
Very good.
So I knew that the paper would not invest in it unless they see that there's really a business case for it. So what I did was to connect with all of my contacts, and then I asked them, which one of you would be willing to write an article or two for free,
Mhm.
um, and then it will come out in the business world. And I was able to sustain it for quite a long time until I left, in fact. So that
Fantastic.
was the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, at that time, nobody was talking about personal finance because it was all big business. I was writing about GDP, inflation,
Yes.
and every time I wrote for the front pages, I was always thinking and always inserted some part in the article. What does this mean for the ordinary
Yeah.
Filipino? If the inflation rate went up to double digit, what does this mean for your wallet? What does this mean for your family? How about your budget? And I was always inserting that, but that will mean that all of these articles are few and far between or scattered all over the place. But I really wanted one home for it. So that small, it's called personal finance. Sobrang big, parang very general. But that's what I named that page. So personal finance page still comes out until now
Amazing.
in the business world. Yeah.
You know what, Salve, I love that because imagine it really was just a spark that
Yeah.
you know that was ignited in you and you took it forward. A lot of us, I think, have that, right? But some of us are fearful. Some of us don't feel they have the support, no? But you went for it and look at where it got you, diba? I have a quick question, Salve. What is your educational background? Were you the whole time that you were a kid, were you really into numbers?
No, actually, I was more a writer. I was really a writer. So ever since in elementary and high school days, I was always in the papers, in the
School
paper of the
paper.
school.
Yes.
Yeah. So, kunwari, di ba when you graduate from high school and people would be thinking about what will happen 20 years from
Yeah.
now. And always, it's placed there. I'm the editor of a big newspaper. So, I'm more of a word type person.
Right.
But in business world, you are really trained from day one to look at the numbers. There's um, a lot of trainings on reading financial statements, making sure that you understand everything that you're writing about. Because once you submit an article on the economy to the newspaper editors, they
Yeah.
will call you and they will ask you what that means. So
Right.
you need to know. So that was when I started realizing that I was in a niche.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't like numbers, but that was a niche I was happy in
Yes.
because there are only a few of us, and that means you can shine better.
That's right. Oh
Na
my
I
goodness,
think.
Alve,
Yeah.
galing. I love that part where you are saying that it's almost serendipitous, no? A lot of us fear something and don't go for it, but in your case, you were thrust into the situation and you embraced it wholeheartedly. And look at where it
I
got
did.
you, no? That's simply amazing. I think, a lot of us need that kind of courage. And if anyone is going to take away something from this interview, please let it be courage. I want us now, Salve, to get into the meat of the matter. We're looking at 2021. A lot of the people I speak with, whether they're entrepreneurs, business owners, or a uh, corporate employees, they're all kind of on a suspense mode, no?
Yeah.
What what do they expect? What should they expect for 2021? What should they look at? What should they be wary of in terms of their personal finance?
That's precisely what I was writing about before I came online. So, what went on in 2020 and what you should look for in 2021. And I thought I wanted to paint a picture of an apocalyptic world. You know that when the pandemic began, people thought zombies would finally arrive. And we kept money close
Yes.
and didn't want to spend because we were afraid that we might need mga barriers against the zombies or
Yes.
something. 'Di ba? Me, particularly, I'm very conservative, especially when it comes to my children.
Yes.
I want to be always ready to make sure that the world will be okay for them. So that was really the theme of 2020. More like fear,
Yeah.
more like making
Wary. No?
sure that you're prepared for a dark future.
Yeah.
Pero you know what, Kai? As I said, as I wrote in my column for that newspaper, at the bit I just was in a talk with the owner of Call Financial. No? It's a brokerage firm.
Yes.
And he said that in March, when the stock market dropped to 4,000 from 7,000, that was a big drop.
Yeah.
People were generally really scared with their tails in between their legs.
Yeah.
But the rich people who called him, what they said was, we want to deploy our cash. Where do we put it?
Yeah.
So, that made me realize that people who know how to build wealth know how to have courage when everybody's fearful.
Right. Right.
Because when you think about it, if you've looked at the history of mankind, investments have been declared dead so many times. And
Yes.
yet here we are. The
Yeah.
stock market is still there. The people who said the stocks are dead are already dead, but the stock market is still alive. So if you will learn from the past, you will see that those big names in the rich list around the world were
Yeah.
able to make more money faster by investing when everybody's afraid.
Right. Right.
So, what does that mean? For ordinary individuals, definitely the first base that you should cover is emergency funds.
Yes.
Make sure that you have it. Make sure that you have enough of it.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's in a safe place.
Yeah.
Once you've got that covered, cover yourself with life insurance if somebody is dependent on
Yeah.
you, right? Now, once that's done, don't be afraid to keep on finding new passive income,
Right.
especially when the things that you think are going to grow over time are already being sold at a very cheap
Right.
rate.
Right.
This is really the time to make more money.
Yes.
But you need to know how to choose.
Right.
Kasi hindi naman pwedeng blindly.
Yes.
You can't just imagine that, in 5 to 10 years, things are going to be back to maybe even higher. The
Yeah.
market's going to be even stronger, so you just buy anything. Hindi rin tama yon.
Yeah.
Because the pandemic has really totally changed the business sector. So this is now how you use your intelligent investing strategies to find the best companies at the cheapest rate, and I guarantee that that would be a beautiful moment
Yeah.
eventually
Yes.
when you make more money.
Returns are going to come. What you mentioned about sound investment and making sure that you do the research so that you balance the risk, I think that is what people should be really focusing on also. No?
Yeah,
How do you
definitely.
maybe for the ones who are going to start doing this, Salve, what are your tips and tricks about doing that? Obviously follow Salve, right? Watch her on her show. But other than that, what do you think?
Yeah, every day I have small tips, digestible and easy
Yeah,
to understand
yeah,
in my IG and Facebook pages. And then every week there's one episode in my YouTube channel, Salves as well, that talks about not just investing, but all sorts of moves and strategies that can help anyone at all, not just the rich, not just the poor,
yeah.
everybody else in between, so that people can make more money out of every peso that we have. Tips on creating more value and creating more wealth. It will take a lot of days to really finish that. But maybe I'll settle on three things
Yes.
for this episode of your channel. First of all, it has to be intelligent investing.
Okay.
It can't be about some stock tip that someone told you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make money from one stock tip.
Mhm.
Sometimes an analyst friend or some other person who's working in the banking industry will call you, Oy, bili ka daw nito kasi kikita yan sigurado, ganun. You might make money from that,
Right.
but just like what I read in the Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, you can move from one part of EDSA to the opposite end at 200 miles kilometers per hour kunwari.
Hmm.
200 kilometers per hour, perhaps you can do it one time. But if you do it 5 times in a week, what will happen to you? You'll die. Diba? So don't
Unsustainable.
depend on those hot stock tips. Make sure that you're investing intelligently. Number two, what does intelligent investing mean?
Yeah.
It means that you buy a stock, not because it's just some number on a screen, but you buy it because it's a business.
Yeah.
You won't go into a business just because you like you
The
like some
person.
part of its logo
Yes.
or the person nakasosyo mo, 'di ba? Or kaibigan mo kasi siya, 'di
Right.
ba? You don't just go into business because kumpare mo siya. But you really try to understand what is the product that
Yeah.
you're selling. Can the company, if it's making money from this product, can it replicate? Can it make more products?
Yes.
And can these products be sold and resold?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because eventually, That's the activity that will provide you with income in the future.
Consumption.
Unless you're able to analyze a
Yes.
company and cover those three things, then don't buy, don't invest.
Right.
If you have a difficulty in analyzing, let's say you're one of those people who, I'm allergic to math, I
Yeah.
don't like financial
Yeah.
statements, whatever I do, it doesn't spark joy in me.
Yeah.
It's totally okay. And this is the third tip, Kai. Just buy an index fund. Generally safe. I won't say it's guaranteed or
Yeah.
risk free, right? There are still risks
Nothing
to
is
it.
risk. Yeah, risk free.
Exactly. But compared with picking a stock or several stocks, buying an index fund is just like buying a stock in all the best companies in the Philippines.
Right.
And if you believe that zombies are not arriving and that 5 to 10 years from now, all of these companies that we depend on now for everything that we have, like
Mm-hmm.
look around your
Yeah.
house. What are the
Yeah.
things that you can't live without?
Yeah.
What are the things that you can't live without? And
Mm-hmm.
then look for the company that makes those things,
Right.
right? That's already a start. But then if you put a money in an index fund, then you'll have a stake in
Yeah.
the growth of all of these companies that the Filipinos can't live without. So that's a
Wonderful.
lot already.
Yes, that's
Yes.
a lot and very practical, Salve. That's really good. So, for those of you who are just starting this, maybe the yuppies out there who are thinking of investing, these are very good practical tips that you can start reviewing now, right? As you go into
Yeah.
2021, preparing for your future, preparing for your families too, no? So, Salve, all of that has been wonderful. I really love it. I was thinking, let's go back a little bit into talking about careers, right? If you had the chance to, talk to your younger self, Salve, your younger self who wasn't sure about the future,
Yeah.
what would be maybe the advice, the top of mind advice, or a few advices that you would give yourself back then, knowing what you know now?
Uh, I'd study more.
Okay, good tip.
I'd study
Kids,
more.
you listened to
Maybe,
that, you heard that from Salve, kids. Okay.
I'd study more. I mean, I would be reading one book a month, maybe. That's what I always tell. When I was board in the board of the Junior Finance Association in the Philippines, I told the kids, read one non-fiction book a month.
Right.
The fiction books, they're easy.
Yeah.
We can just read them in our spare time, but
Yeah.
you need to be mindfully reading one non-fiction book a month
Right.
because those things don't just put um, information in your head.
Right.
They spark innovation that maybe none other kid in the entire universe thinks about. And reading gives you that discipline
Yeah.
to sit
Yeah.
and be quiet
Yeah.
and just listen to your thoughts as opposed to watching Netflix
Yeah.
or some YouTube video,
Yeah.
except this one maybe.
Yeah. Or
Ayan,
our
so
channels. Yes.
yeah, or our channels. Maybe that. I want kids now to read more. And
Ex-
not just the articles in their feed on Facebook or in their whatever social
Yes.
media they're looking at these days. Kasi Facebook daw pang tita na eh.
Yeah.
Hindi na pang bata. Yes. Okay, so whatever it is, I want kids to read more and maybe not kahit na minimum of 20 minutes per day. I think it's very important for kids to be quiet with their own thoughts and none other. If I had a chance to talk to my younger self, maybe I'll train myself in finance more. So instead of taking journalism, maybe I would have taken economics or business administration or even wag naman statistics.
Yeah.
Ayoko na nun.
Hardcore. Hardcore math.
Yeah. Mm-mm. In my career, for instance, because I graduated journalism in UP Diliman, I realized that maybe I had courses, I had units in BA and
Yeah.
math and other things. Pero I would have taken more training because now I had to do it on my own.
Right.
I
Right.
had to learn, I had to be trained as a registered financial advisor.
Right.
And then after that, I had to take courses in business writing and AIM. So all of those things I could have taken in
Yes.
college.
Yes.
'Di ba?
Oh,
So the
just
choice,
starting it, no? Yeah.
yeah, the choice of your course is actually very important. But kids nowadays,
I
it's a
know.
very difficult process for them. Katulad ko,
Yeah.
when I was choosing my course in UP, bahala na,
Yeah.
journalism, parang ganun. Kasi typecast ka na.
Right.
But it should be a mindful exercise so
Ag-
that you don't waste time.
Agree. Wonderful, Salve. Wonderful. And you know what? This whole reading that you mentioned, I loved it. That I love it because I also want kids to do that.
Because I read four different books every day.
Wow. Wow.
I read four to six actually. When something catches my fancy, I add to the reading list. So I wake up at 4 a.m. to start reading. So I read four books a day, and then news publications.
Yeah.
So oh no, four news publications. So that would be The Economist, New York Times, Philippine Daily Inquirer, Rappler, and now I'm adding Reporter. Have you heard of that? Reportr
Okay.
is what I'm
Okay.
adding. So you need to be able to read from the past
Yeah.
and then read about what's happening at the moment. So my reading list is very, very long. That's why I really like sharing everything that I'm reading.
Oh, that's great. So, guys, those are tips and tricks. Not only that, you can also get information directly from Salve. So, those bookshelves, those books on our bookshelves, those are not displaced. Those are used books, guys.
Yes, they
Right,
are, and some of them I read many times. Like there are several books that I read every year
right, right.
for refreshment, for
Correct.
refreshing my brain.
Right. Because you know what? This is you letting us know that you are in a position that you are because you really are helping yourself. You're educating yourself. You're filling yourself with the information you need to do your job in the best way that you can. Salve, that is just so inspirational. And I'm sure a lot of us are taking down notes and are taking down things that we should start changing for 2021. Do you have any last words for the viewers?
Maybe final words is that a lot of people lost a lot during the pandemic since March. If we're in a good place, we might not always realize that a lot of people aren't.
Yeah,
Some have lost jobs. Worse, some have lost loved ones. No?
right.
And there's a lot of discouragement and depression out there. But I always say, and I've said this to somebody else who interviewed me before, what you are is not a collection of the things that you have lost. In fact, if you really think about it, even if you lose your job, even if you've lost money from a business venture, for instance, even if you've been scammed,
Yeah, yeah.
'di ba?
It happens.
A lot of the things that a lot of the things that are you that together can be can define who you are still there.
Yes.
All the knowledge that you have gained
Yeah.
through past jobs and past experiences, they're still there. All the skills that you have, they're still there. And and everything that you can still have, that potential in the middle of your 2 ears, it's still there. So these are assets, not just the assets that we have in our bank accounts. All of these are assets,
Yeah.
and we must not forget, because that's how we can maybe bounce back
Right.
if we are in a deep dark place today.
Great, Salve. That I can't say that any better. I think, guys,
Thank you.
take that away from this talk, from this interview. Let us give you the hope that you need for wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you've lost. You've heard it directly from Salve. We need to be able to pick ourselves up. There is effort in that, but the effort is going to be worthwhile because the future is still being written, right? Thank you, Salve. With
Thank
that,
you so much, Kai.
I would, yes, my pleasure, really my pleasure. It has been a long time coming. We have tried to set this up, and I am so grateful, to Ralph and to yourself for making this happen. Salve, I'll be following you. I will be definitely encouraging others to do that as well. Take care,
Thank you.
okay? All the best to you.
Thank
God
you.
bless. Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.
Take care.